expectations of you, and the amount of pressure that's put on you to sort of meet these expectations. They were actually at some point using specific people's names. Like, have you heard of what's happening to this mission? Are you, I know that you're not allowed in the country, but are you sort of involved in that minute way of looking at specific case by case by case?
Indeed, yes. Something I do, and I'm required to do, in fact, is to attend to specific individual cases. So rather than make these publicly kind of known, what I do is I send confidential letters to the government of Iran, alleging, look, I've heard this information about this person. Is this true? If not, if it is the case, then you have to address the issue in this manner. Or I send urgent appeals, saying, for example, I have heard that this person is in imminent danger of harm to either physically or some other form. So please attend to it and address that issue. And I write again, and if they don't do it, then I go public as well. So yes, my mandate does require, attending to specific individuals when they face challenges, and also, of course, identify areas in which the government can respond on a more general level as well.
What's the ultimate goal? What is your, I don't want to get personal with you, I know you're speaking on behalf of my organization. What's the ultimate goal here? Is it to put pressure on Iran, or is it to sort of highlight the fact that, this problem is systemic, we can't work with this regime? What is the ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is for the government, or enough people in the government in Iran, to recognize that there are issues that they have to address if they want to remain, if they want to be seen as a global leader in the South. For example, that Iran cannot claim for that national prestige at the global level if it doesn't meet up to the basic standards that they have to meet. So the issues I raise are not issues they can parry away by saying we are culturally different, but by saying, look, the international norms apply across the board to everybody.
And this cultural difference is something, it's an excuse that Iran constantly uses. So we are being culturally authentic when we oppress women, we are being culturally authentic when we oppress Baha'is, and this is just the way it is. My concern, though, and I like the fact that you bring this up, because other people have not in the past addressed this issue of sort of cultural authenticity on behalf of the Islamic. You say that Iran likes to be seen as a global player, and that it doesn't like to be embarrassed on a sort of international.
How do you get countries to comply with human rights issues is a very vexed question. Lawyers look at treaties, others look at different ways. The way I see it, the most effective way is to look at cognitive dissonance. That is when you can no longer square the circle, as it were, you have to look at addressing it. I bring it from my own background in the Maldives, where I addressed the same issue, where the government of the day in the Maldives was forced to look at the issue because what they were saying as a reality was no longer the reality, and they had to, acculturate. If they want to parade in the world as a nation state, then they have to conform to some certain basic standards. And Iran has this weakness, because Maldives is a very small country, but they still want to be seen as at least making the table. Iran has to top the table, and they can't top the table, if they seem to be doing things that normal countries don't do. So it is a very basic thing based on the idea that cognitive dissonance is a way that get people to address issues of acculturation.
And is one of the methods that you're using, that you talked about, they using their own laws and saying, hey, you're not living up to your own laws. Is that one of the methods?
That's one of those things. Now, I am not abandoning the broader issues of you have to meet these basic standards. But, you have to see, when you try to influence states in a positive direction, you have to be sure to use judiciously the things you can use. If you throw everything at somebody, it probably doesn't work very effectively. But if you're judicious in picking what works best in what circumstances, then it can be more useful. I'm hoping by focusing on these aspects that address these issues, you begin to make the concession in Iran, yes, we have problems. And then you also have people who try to look at ways to address this. And it's a tall order. It's perhaps not very realistic at the moment.
Daunting.
It's daunting. But I think, you begin. You make a beginning, then you have the next step as well.